Hello and welcome to our channel, What is and How to. Let me begin with a tough but honest question. When you step outside on a hot summer day and feel the heat almost burning your skin, or when you hear about floods, wildfires, or hurricanes happening more frequently across the world, do you ever stop and ask yourself, why is all of this happening? The answer, in many ways, lies in two simple but powerful words: climate change. Now, the phrase gets thrown around everywhere, on the news, in politics, even in casual conversations. But what does it really mean? And more importantly, how does it affect us, our families, our jobs, and our future? That's exactly what we're going to break down today in the simplest and most human way possible. One, what climate change actually means. Climate change isn't just about the weather, it's about long term shifts in Earth's climate patterns. While the planet's climate has always changed naturally over thousands of years, what's happening now is different. Human activities, burning fossil fuels, cutting down forests, and polluting the atmosphere, are causing greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide to trap heat in the atmosphere. Think of it like putting a thick blanket around the Earth. It keeps getting warmer, even when the planet should naturally cool down. This steady rise in global temperatures is what we call global warming, and the ripple effects, melting ice, rising seas, extreme storms, are all parts of climate change. What makes it urgent is the speed. Instead of changes taking thousands of years, they're happening in just decades, right in front of our eyes. Two, the heat wave effect. One of the most visible ways climate change affects us is through rising temperatures. Summers are getting hotter, heat waves last longer, and record breaking temperatures are now becoming the new normal. And it's not just about discomfort, it's about health. Extreme heat can cause dehydration, heat strokes, and even death, especially for vulnerable groups like children, the elderly, and outdoor workers. Businesses also suffer. Farm crops wither under the heat, power grids collapse from overuse, and cities face higher cooling costs. You can almost feel the pressure building when people are forced to stay indoors, productivity drops, and communities struggle to cope. Climate change is not some distant theory. It's in the sweat on our brows, the rising electricity bills, and the food prices at the market. 3. Rising seas and sinking lands. When ice caps and glaciers melt, all that water has to go somewhere, and it's flooding into our oceans. Rising sea levels are one of the most direct consequences of climate change, and they threaten millions of people living in coastal cities. Imagine families waking up to find their homes flooded, or entire communities slowly disappearing underwater. This isn't science fiction. It's already happening in places like Bangladesh, the Maldives, and parts of the US like Florida. Rising seas also make storms more dangerous as hurricanes push water further inland, causing destruction. For businesses, it means insurance costs soar, infrastructure crumbles, and billions are lost in damages. For everyday people, it means fear, displacement, and the loss of homes that carry generations of memories. 4. Extreme weather on the rise. If you've noticed storms getting stronger, floods coming more often, or wildfires spreading faster, you're not imagining things. Climate change fuels extreme weather by making the planet hotter and wetter in the wrong places. Warmer oceans power stronger hurricanes. Dry regions turn into tinderboxes, making wildfires spread uncontrollably. Heavy rains dump more water than cities can handle, leading to floods that wipe out entire neighborhoods. These disasters aren't just random acts of nature, they're amplified by human driven climate change. And the emotional cost is huge. Families losing homes, farmers losing livelihoods, communities losing their sense of safety. The economic costs run into trillions, but the human toll, the fear, the grief, the uncertainty, is something money can't measure. The impact on food and water. Here's a sobering thought. Climate change doesn't just change the weather, it changes what ends up on your plate. Crops like wheat, rice, and corn are highly sensitive to temperature and rainfall. When the balance is disrupted, yields drop and food becomes scarcer and more expensive. Farmers struggle, and consumers feel it at the grocery store. Water, too, is affected. Droughts dry up rivers while floods contaminate supplies. For billions of people, this means insecurity. Will there be enough food tomorrow? Will clean water be available? These are not distant problems for future generations. They're issues knocking on our doors today, affecting our diets, our budgets, and our health. 6. Health risks and human suffering. Climate change isn't just about the planet, it's about our bodies. Rising heat increases risks of heart and respiratory diseases. Poor air quality, worsened by wildfires and pollution, causes asthma and lung damage. Mosquitoes carrying diseases like malaria and dengue are spreading to new regions as temperatures rise. And when disasters strike, hospitals often become overwhelmed, leaving vulnerable populations at risk. But beyond physical health, there's also mental health. Imagine living in constant fear of floods or watching your home burn down in a wildfire. Anxiety, depression, and trauma are invisible scars of climate change, reminding us that its impact is deeply personal. 7. The economic ripple effect. Every storm, every flood, every heat wave comes with a price tag. Businesses close, farms collapse, supply chains break down, and governments spend billions on recovery. Insurance companies raise rates, making it harder for families to protect their homes. Tourists avoid regions struck by disasters, leaving economies in ruins. In short, climate change doesn't just damage nature, it damages livelihoods. And the longer we wait to act, the higher the costs will climb. For some, it's about survival. For others, it's about whether their dreams, their jobs, and their communities can withstand the financial hit. Climate change is not just an environmental issue, it's an economic earthquake, shaking the foundations of society. 8. Why action matters now. The hardest truth about climate change is also the most motivating. Our choices today will shape tomorrow. Yes, governments and corporations must lead the way, but individuals have power too. From reducing waste to choosing renewable energy, from voting for climate conscious policies to teaching kids about sustainability, every step matters. And here's the hopeful part: human beings are resilient, creative, and capable of change. We've faced crises before and we've adapted. Climate change is the biggest challenge of our time, but it's also an opportunity to build a cleaner, greener, fairer world. The question is, will we act in time? 9. Climate change and global inequality. One of the most heartbreaking realities of climate change is that it doesn't affect everyone equally. The truth is, those who contribute the least to the problem often suffer the most. Wealthy countries and corporations are the largest polluters, yet developing nations, small island states, and vulnerable communities bear the harshest consequences. A flood in Bangladesh can wipe out entire villages, while a drought in Africa can leave millions without food. These people don't have the resources to rebuild, to relocate, or to simply buy their way out of disaster. Meanwhile, wealthier nations can often shield themselves, at least for now, by investing in stronger infrastructure and disaster relief. This unfair balance creates not just an environmental crisis, but also a moral one. Climate change deepens poverty, forces migration, and sparks conflicts over scarce resources like water and land. And that's climate change, what it really is, and how it affects each of us in ways we can see, feel, and live through every single day. It's not a problem out there. It's here in our food, our homes, our health, and our future. But now I want to hear from you. Do you feel hopeful that humanity can turn this around, or do you feel worried that we're moving too slowly? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and stay tuned for more eye-opening insights here on What Is and How To.